As an evil wind rises over the great sea, a hero of legend will set off on an epic adventure to defeat it and save the world. Hello everyone, this is ToadinWonderland back to tackle on this game. Before I get into anything else, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone for being so incredibly patient with me as I deal with my life and try to get some changes adjusted. But again, thank you to everyone who's been waiting for me to get back with this game, including new subscribers that I've gotten. Holy crap, thank you guys so much. How about we celebrate by showing off a glitch? What do you guys say? Let me show that password skip that I mentioned about 4 months ago. So, what we're doing here is we're lining up on the ship so that we clip on through. You kind of have to have Link's feet positioned to line up with that white line. Then you're going to use the leaf to fly over. And you got to slowly navigate here. If you go too far to the left or the right, you actually clip back in the bounds and mess up the glitch and have to restart. So if you're doing this on your own, be very careful about that. And you're going to kind of come around to the side of where the ship is at there. And I like to zoom in so that I'm facing the inside of the door. And just hop on over to it. And Shazam! You are inside the ship and did not even have to get the password from the bomb shop. I was like so freaking excited when I learned that this method was actually possible, because there's actually 2 other ways you can do it. One that involves just roll clipping into the lower railing, and another that involves using a jar to push you out of bounds with a combination of the Deku Leaf. Which seriously, the method that involves the jar, screw it. I hate doing that trick so much. It's insanely hard to pull off. I can't begin to describe how difficult and how much it's driven me insane with attempting to do that. Anyway, I came in this room. This is Tetra's room. There's like several pictures of various things, including what appears to maybe be her mother. But over here, Link's like looking at the picture. And I kind of cut away here. This is post-commentary, for those who are wondering, because as I was recording it, I actually had a little bit of a cough attack. As a matter of fact, I've actually felt like death on a stick this past week because I've been sick. I've been dealing with the combination of a cold/sinus infection. So I have a lot going on that's in addition to things I had this past month, which is why I've been gone a while, and really inactive. So I do apologize for being gone for a while. I'm not going to get too super in depth with all the details, but the original intent was to come back sometime in mid-January roughly, or a little bit after that even, but that's when I kind of got hit hard with many things going on. And like I said, you know, I'm not going to get too super in depth with everything, but it was enough to where like I couldn't even think about YouTube stuff in general, or even like my social life, because I had also been really quiet on like my Twitter, and I'm probably in a really bad spot for doing that, because I feel like by not saying anything, like communicating with anyone in general for that length of time, has just possibly done more harm than I really anticipated to happen. But the only thing I can say is, you know, life has things that get thrown at you that you just got to work around and try to do your best to deal with what's been thrown your way and work out something that will hopefully benefit you and somehow find a way so that you'll have fun. I know that probably made like no sense, but seriously, like with what I had going on, it really had me bogged down and a little bit overwhelmed by just the sheer nonsense that you could say it was. But enough about that. I'm back to take on this game. Here I'm going through the pirate ship itself, where Nico gets rid of the platforms and you can only use these ropes. And I somehow barely managed to get across in one try. I swear to you, off screen, I tend to have more trouble doing these sections of the game, but when I'm recording it, somehow it's a miracle that I can do it in one try. I seriously have no idea what is up with that, but it's spooky as anything. So, with that said, I'm probably going to get into other topics. That's actually a good thing that I have this in post-commentary, because I feel like there's stuff I want to talk about with you guys as far as like what's been going on in the gaming world and stuff like that. Before I do get into that though, just to let you know, throughout the video here, I'm going to be going to various places such as the Great Fairies that give you the Rupee wallet upgrades. There's 2 of them. There's one at Northern Fairy Island and one at Outset Island, which we're going there anyway, so it's good that that's on the way. We also got our bombs just now, which is going to give us a cannon to use. We're also going to be picking up a Triforce chart. It'll be at the Islet of Steel. I'll probably point it out once we get to that point in the video. And we're also going to get the final Goddess Pearl that will allow us to continue on with the main plot. And also break this curse, because we've been stuck with Endless Night cycle here, where it's constantly raining and very dreary. The game's in a very gritty, gloomy mood at this point because everything's so dark. And it kind of is emotional with that kind of impact that it can create. Amazing, because we got a really colorful game. That's what I love about Wind Waker's art style. I think I talked about this before in a previous video, but the art style really complements the game well with the story and the character development that goes on. It really helps a lot. So with that said, you know, that's the plans, and that's what's going to be going on in this video. I did just take a picture of a picture of a picture. That's pretty much what it was, with Link reacting crazy to that picture of the I guess it's like the tapestry from the beginning of the game, where it shows like Link as foretold in the legend that occurred before this game. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that Tetra has this of all things, and that she would have it hanging right beside her bed in her cabin. I don't know. There's going to be a few cuts, by the way, because I did check Tingle Bottles, and if anything was not interesting, I also cut that out as well. Basically, like backtracking sequences. But like I said, you know, it's a pretty interesting game, and there's our cannon. So, with all that said, that was probably an earful to listen to. I apologize. I just am a little bit nervous / excited with getting back into this. Just hoping for the best that this works out fine and that people will continue to watch as we did in the good old days. Although it's really hard to say that, you know, with the changes that YouTube's had lately, but I'm still doing this to try to have fun. And I kind of feel bad that I never finished this game in particular. My channel already has like a good history of unfinished projects, which is not a really good reputation for me to have, but this is a game that I will definitely feel bad if I never did finish it. Unless there was something really humanly possible to where I could never do it again. Which almost about happened, you know. On my hiatus, you know, I was thinking, you know, what am I going to do about coming back and stuff. But here I am again. So I decided, kind of out of the blue, where I feel like I'm stoned out of my mind when I'm sick. Oh god, of all things, I would happen to think, hey, let's sit down and record this. Now, damn it. But yeah, that's my mindset for you. And that is a beetle chart that I just picked up. It shows the location of all the beetle ships in the game. And there's Old Man Ho-Ho! If I can even say his voice right. My throat is not feeling that well now. He's basically looking out at a submarine, and I think it has moblins on it, as far as the enemies go. The reward for that particular submarine is a treasure chart, which is not really that important as far as what I intend to show for this game. I think it was already established, but I wasn't going for any of like the extras, like 100% playthrough of this game. Mainly just showing the bare basics and things that you can do glitch-wise, because basically my playthrough of this game is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD Jackass Edition. I feel that's what this is, because it's almost like you're doing stunts when you do these glitches. And like I said, you know, with the pirate ship password skip, that actually was hanging me up a little bit because I had talked about one of the methods you can do. It's probably going to drive me crazy because I actually can't think of who found the method that I just showed you at the beginning of the video. I'll probably remember it later and have to put an annotation up on screen. And if I do, hopefully my brain can remember that, especially with how I feel now. My mind is all over the place right now, guys. But anyway, yeah, I'll have to think if I can figure out who found that. And as a matter of fact, that particular glitch actually hasn't even been known that long. The method that I showed that involves just clipping in the upper railing and using the Deku Leaf to glide over. I'm trying to think how old that is. I don't even think it's like a month old, because... That's right, okay, I just happened to think on my mind here. I was watching Cosmo do Awesome Games Done Quick, the charity event that was back in January, and 2014 that is. And when he was doing it, I didn't see him do that particular method for when he was doing the password skip for his speedrun of the game. So I don't think it was known at that time. It had to have been found sometime in February here. I'm almost positive. So if anything, you know, this is an early glimpse of something new that's been discovered at least. And that is one benefit, I guess, to the hiatus that I have had here. While I've been off, there has been more and more things that have been occurring and found and discovered here in the HD version of the Wind Waker. As a matter of fact, the glitch I just even showed you, in addition to being kind of recently discovered, it was also discovered that some of the stuff works in the standard definition GameCube version of Wind Waker, which I think is really interesting, that how there's like certain games where a glitch gets found in like a re-release or an updated graphical visual version of a game, and to see that you can actually do the same in the original version of a game. And yeah, that sound gets annoying. I don't know why I did that randomly with the Swift sale, or the fast sale, whatever you like to call it. But coming up here on the video itself, I believe, is the Islet of Steel, which is where one of the Triforce charts is at. And it is a chart, so at least the game was generous enough to have the locations of the charts be in the easy spots, while the shards were the ones that would be in the more difficult places, which we'll see as we go along throughout the main game here. If I didn't mention it already, 5 of the 8 original Triforce charts are now the actual shards themselves directly, which was to help alleviate the stress that was involved with the Triforce quest of the game. Again, all stuff that we'll find later. And that was boss right there, how they killed their own enemy right there. Just that bird flying there in the middle of the crossfire. That was not a smart move on its part. It did lag a little bit though, I noticed. That was weird. Even in HD, there's certain parts of the game that can get a little bit buggy with the graphics, I suppose. But anyway, back to glitches. There's other stuff that'll be coming up as I get through this game. Other dungeons. Matter of fact, the Forsaken Fortress will have something pretty neat that I'll be showing you guys. I should be able to do it, because from what I could tell, I actually haven't gotten to that part of the game in quite a while. It's been months since I've actually played through this game. But there's a part at the Forsaken Fortress that should be pretty interesting to show. Again, it's something new that was discovered not that long ago. It's only been around for a couple months, so it'll be pretty interesting once I get to that part to show you guys. And I don't know what was happening here at this point in the video. For some reason, the King of Red Lions was being a dick there and just getting stuck at the side of the entrance for whatever reason. Okay, so we're heading back home, homeward bound. I guess something else I could talk about. It was in the last video, going back to that whole pirate ship password, not just the skipping glitch itself, but other aspects of it. There was someone who had commented in the last video. Unfortunately, I can't remember who that was. I'll probably have to put another annotation to give them credit. They had said about something where not needing to go to the bomb shop to get the passwords, despite the fact that there's passwords that we might already know from playing the game in previous times. Is there only 3 passwords on this game? Because I thought I've heard before. Okay, well here's the thing. I know there is at least 3 because my personal experience is I've had the passwords Plankton, Chumley, and Treasure be the passwords whenever I've played the game normally. But there's other people, like multiple people even, who swear that they've had other passwords in addition to those. I've seen that some people have said Barnacle is another, and Swabbies is another one as well. I really don't know if that's true, but I thought the password was supposed to be dependent on what file you're playing. Like if you're playing File 1, File 2, or File 3. I don't know if that's set in stone or not. I actually never really paid attention to that aspect. It's not something I really thought about when I was playing the game in the past. And I didn't check the password when I was at that point earlier for this file that I'm playing through for this Let's Play. So I'm not even sure what the password was if I would have done that normally. It's basically an answer to a riddle, like for the one that's the Chumley, for example. The question at the password door itself will say, how do you treat a shark? Even if you know the password ahead of time, you have to go to the bomb shop to trigger the actual sequence where the pirates inside the bomb shop will tell you what the password is. I don't know why that is exactly. I guess so that the game feels like it has a logical progression. Because I don't know if it's assumed that you would be playing the game more than once. Well, maybe because of the second quest that you unlock once you beat the main game once. So that's always possible, I suppose. But yeah, like normally you do have to go to the bomb shop in order to quote-unquote trigger the cutscene, because that's what actually activates it to let you enter the password. Because even though you might know that the password's Chumley, you still have to go to where the pirates are at in the bomb shop to trigger that scene in order for it to even be accepted at the door. I'm not even sure why I'm rambling about this, to be honest, because what I just showed, you don't even need any passwords. Screw those damn passwords, seriously. It's much more fun to just glitch around and give a game a taste of its own shock therapy. I guess that's what glitches are now, shock therapy. Who knew? I also got elixir soup there by giving Grandma a fairy. Unfortunately, the elixir soup bottle duplication glitch does not exist on the HD version. That did get patched. Basically what it was is you could dupe the bottle so that the elixir soup would be basically cloned into another bottle. And it wasn't even just the elixir soup, it could actually be any bottled item. The glitch itself is just called the elixir soup bottle glitch though, because that's usually the item that's associated with even doing that glitch. Because elixir soup you normally can't have in more than one bottle. Link's grandma will refuse to give you any more if you already have a bottle of it. And at this point I'm going after the other Rupee fairy. Well, the Great Fairy that gives you the Rupee upgrade. It doesn't matter what order you get them in either. If I would have done this one first and then done the Northern Fairy Island later, it wouldn't matter. The upgrade will still be correct regardless. The first fairy gives you an upgrade to carry 1,000 rupees. The second one will upgrade it again to 5,000. And something that was different about this game, I don't know if I talked about it or not, but by default you're able to carry 500 rupees from the start. On the GameCube version it was actually only 200 and you couldn't exceed any more. So it was a little handy that they did upgrade that aspect so that you could carry more early on. I'm guessing why they did that is maybe because people who are deciphering the Triforce charts, for whatever reason, might never think to look after the spots where these great fairies are at. And that's the only thing I can figure, because it costs 398 rupees to have a chart deciphered. And for the standard definition of the game, since you could only carry 200 from the start, I guess that could be a problem for people who didn't know that there were Rupee wallet upgrades. That's all I can figure from it. I'm not sure why else they would have updated it. Otherwise, though, it's handy. I mean, I'm actually glad that that's something that did get changed, because it helped me already decipher one of the charts in the previous video, because I was able to carry that many. So, with all that said, I've had quite a lot of topics that I've went over here. I guess something else I could talk about is, it was just announced that Nintendo's releasing a Yoshi's Island 3DS XL limited edition. I'll probably like post a picture up here quick so you can see what it looks like. I did make a cut here, by the way, to kind of just skip the part leaving the forest there. There's a couple moblins you can fight if you want. You can get skull necklaces from them if you're collecting those to get all the items in the game, but like I said, I just skipped that to save some time in the video. But yes, if it wasn't for the fact that I already have the... Let's see, I have both of the Zelda 3DSs. I have the original limited edition 3DS, which is like the black 3DS with the Zelda gold trimming design on it. And then I also have the Zelda 3DS XL, where it's completely gold with the Triforce logo on it. And on the back, if you open it up, it looks like Hyrule and Lorule's Triforce, with the light and the dark Triforce design on it. If it wasn't for the fact that I had those... Oh, and the Pokemon 3DS XL. I have the red one of that. So yeah, I already have enough 3DSs to last me probably for my lifetime. Never know when you need a spare. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, I'm not going to be getting that. But hey, if you don't have one, it looked pretty sweet. You know, I actually did like the design of the Yoshi one. It's just I already have 3DSs, so I don't have a need to get it. But just thought I'd throw that out there. Should be coming later in March here, probably with the release of the game itself. Yoshi's New Island, which I don't know if I'll be getting that right away or not. It just depends. I'll have to see. There's been a slew of good games that have come out while I've been gone, though. Such as A Link Between Worlds, Super Mario 3D World, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze just came out. There's been some good stuff. Oh, and here we got Jabun. I did forget to bring that up quick. I'll still never get over the fact that there's like unused sound effects from Jabun, where there's one where it sounds like he's being slayed. It can be found on YouTube, but there's like an audio file where it sounds like Jabun is dying. It was implied that there was supposed to be a scene where Ganondorf is shown either killing or injuring Jabun, and it's believed that the scene would have occurred at Great Fish Isle, which is where Jabun's originally from. But it's just food for thought, unknown use of beta material that exists. Either way, we have our third pearl. Finally! Took me long enough. And looking at him there, he also has the remixed Jabu Jabu's Belly song for his theme, if you could barely hear that. I don't remember if Hyrule Historia had any backstory for Jabun or not, but basically in Zelda, if you can suspect anything might have a connection, it's probably true. That's what Hyrule Historia has taught us. With that said, though, we have all the pearls, so we'll finally be able to move on to the next dungeon of the game, which is perhaps my least favorite dungeon, unfortunately. But hey, if I'm able to pull through it, getting through the rest of this LP will be a snap. I promise you guys that. With that said, I'm going to be ending the video here. This is ToadinWonderland, and I will have some Miiverse posts to show you here at the end that I saved to show you guys, including one that I found in a Tingle bottle. Till next time, though, I will see you guys later. And thank you guys so much if you stuck through this. You are awesome.